let's break it down. Let's talk about our origins of wrestling. I mean, I'll start, Dave, because like you said, I'm the one who introduced it to you. So the first time I ever laid eyes on professional wrestling, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 5 years old, and my dad had ordered a pay-per-view, and I had no idea what was going on. He said, "You want to watch wrestling?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So we ordered a pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view was Royal Rumble 2000. Now, Nate, have you ever seen this pay-per-view?
I know you've shown it to me before. I just don't know if I remember all the ins and outs of it.
So
but I know I've seen it before.
I might be a little biased towards it because, like I said, it's the first show I've ever watched. But I think Royal Rumble 2000 still holds up today as one of the greatest Royal Rumbles that there has ever been in WWE. I mean, you're talking peak Attitude Era. They're coming, they basically turned the tide in the Monday Night Wars, and WWF at the time is just slamming with ratings, slamming with superstars, and it was really a spectacle to watch, and not only from like just a pro wrestling standpoint, but just from an entertainment standpoint. At that time, even if you weren't a wrestling fan, you'd be tuning in to Monday Night Raw, Thursday Night SmackDown, just to watch what's going to happen because you were entertained, whether you like wrestling or not, as what it is. And my 5-year-old eyes watched wrestling for the first time. So I just want to basically just a drift of the card real quick. It starts off with a man known as an Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, who at this point in his career, in January of 2000, is basically a rookie. He'd only been in the company for a few months. Kurt Angle comes out. He has this undefeated streak going on, and he's basically having an open challenge. And obviously, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this pay-per-view takes place in New York City. So obviously, a hyped crowd.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden. So he does an open challenge, and it's the debut of Taz. Now, this is my first time watching, so I don't know it's his debut. I'm 5 years old. I don't know who Taz is. But as growing up and learning more about Taz, Taz was an established ECW star. So this is his WWE debut against Kurt Angle, who's now undefeated. Overall, pretty good match. Taz actually puts the Taz mission on him, which chokes out Kurt Angle, and Taz is awarded the victor. However, to save the storyline's sake for Kurt Angle, he's like, that's a choke. That's illegal, right? I'm still undefeated to keep the undefeated streak alive. It's just brilliant because Kurt Angle he's a character at the time that's like what you think of what a good guy is back in like the 80s. You would think of someone like Kurt Angle, like a blue blood. He fights for all the right things, an American hero, Olympic gold medalist.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of 1999, 2000, he can be one of the hottest heels in the country because nobody wants to see that. They want to see their badasses, their Stone Cold Steve Austins, this and that. So I thought that's what made Kurt Angle pretty cool at the time. I mean, they also had a crazy tag team table match between the Dudleys and the Hardys that still holds up to this day. The Hardys obviously going over in the Dudleys in that match. Jeff Hardy doing a swanton bomb to Devon Dudley, putting him to the last table, which will be the elimination. WWF Championship match is Triple H against Cactus Jack, one of the versions of Mick Foley that is known to be one of the most hardcore. And this championship match is one of the greatest championship matches I've seen, just as far as brutality, a story that they told in the ring.
Remember that?
Thumbtacks were involved, 2x4s with barbed wire. I mean, Mick Foley's great, but he was trying to really establish Triple H to be that next top guy, and he did it perfectly. Triple H goes on to beat him, which sets up a good story with that. And then obviously the Royal Rumble, the winner that specific Royal Rumble is The Rock, and that's where I first that's when I first became one of the millions and millions of Rock fans.
Really?
Rock won the Royal Rumble. I said after he won the Royal Rumble, also a controversial ending because Big Show had him. They were the last two in the ring. Had Rock on his shoulder, goes to flip him over the top rope. Rock hangs on. Big Show falls over him. Apparently, Rock's feet didn't hit the ground, so Rock's the winner. Rock gets on the top rope, does the smells in the air, and I was like, that's the guy I like. My 5-year-old ass was like, I like that guy. And ever since then, been a huge Rock fan. So that was my first introduction to wrestling, 5 years old. Been watching it basically ever since. Kind of took a little hiatus. Kind of as towards WWE is progressing into the ruthless aggression era, into the PG era. But that's my origins of wrestling. So I've been, 25 years old, been a wrestling fan for 20 years now. So